So typically, the last question of the Talking with Tarashuk podcast always goes to the guest. But I know you're starting a podcast. You think of starting a podcast. I'm gonna leave the floor open to you. You can ask me as many questions as you want about podcasting, starting right now. What do you got?
All right. So, roughly on a small scale or a big scale, what are you looking at wise, like on a startup, like for mic and all your equipment, stuff like that?
Like a budget?
Yeah, budget.
I would probably budget out for a decent setup, or so it depends what you want to do. If you are having guests in person, I would say you want to budget between $300 and $500.
$300 and $500.
You're gonna want 2 mics, an interface, and then a recording software, which can range from anything from free to a few $100.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're gonna be remote, and it's just gonna be you would just need a good USB microphone and recording software. So, like, for your podcast, you're going to have guests, right? Are they going to be in person? Are they going to be over Zoom like we are now?
Both. Yeah.
So in that case, you're gonna need 2 microphones and an interface. And what an interface is, it's like this mic is connected to what's called an XLR cord. It's on USB, and that plugs into a thing over here, which I'll show you afterwards. It's just a little box. It plugs into your computer. You plug 2 microphones in, and you can record on what's called a multi-track if you have the right program. So budgeting it out, I'd say between $300 and $500. We sell all the equipment. Ambiguous. We have a store. I can hook you up. I can hook up with some of that as soon as the interfaces actually come in, because we are.
I'll wait on it.
Sold out of interfaces, but we do sell everything. Since we are a startup, we sell everything below market price. So you're not going to find a cheaper price for an interface from Focusrite than us. So.
Damn. Well, why aren't you? Do you sell? Do you have anything on eBay or not on eBay?
Everything's on our shop. Everything's on our Shopify. No, well, see, we're partnered with Rode, like Rode microphones.
Yeah.
Which is one of the biggest names. But one of the things is that we can't sell on Amazon.
Oh shit!
So
all right,
it's on our Shopify. And Amazon, I like Amazon. Obviously, you would want to sell on Amazon, but Amazon's very predatory.
It is. It's
I've heard nightmares of people selling on Amazon. Like, if you have a product, Amazon will just knock it off, make a cheap version, make it Amazon Basics, and put it first in the search algorithm. They'll really hose you.
If they find out that you're doing, like, this is my, I don't even want to get into it, but yeah, it is tricky. Like, I'm suspended from Amazon right now on selling.
Yeah.
So
that's a problem.
For nothing, for nothing. But
so I would budget up between $300 and $500 just for the equipment.
Yeah, so that's very fair. I mean, for what it is,
start out, right? Because like this microphone itself is very expensive. Right. This extendable arm, like my whole podcast setup is probably a few $1,000s.
Right.
But if you're just starting out, it took me 5 years to get this microphone. Do not do that. It took me 5 years to get this favorite mixer of mine that I can do what I want to do on it. Don't do that either.
Well, that's interesting. What would you suggest, like mic-wise? Just get on Amazon, get just whatever's cheap or whatever fits in one budget, or
I'd say you don't want to go too cheap.
Right, because that's definitely your main deal.
We do sell quality microphones, whether it's XLR or analog, which is USB.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sell anything I wouldn't use or I haven't used in the past. So
I would definitely
say if you're gonna spend the most money on equipment, do it on a microphone. You know, if it's a desk stand or a webcam or like one of these arms, the extendable arms that that hooks onto the TV or whatever, not the TV, the table, you can probably go cheap on that. But if you're gonna spend the most money, do it on a microphone.
I will do. I'm all about going all out, but I do. So with the filming, I've got some of them Rode cameras, and I've always seen them like you'll see like rap videos, whatever, music videos. You'll see like some of the same mics essentially. I don't know if they're the same, but I'll just have to do my due diligence. But I'll definitely get my equipment and get some of my equipment from you. So that's how I am. It's all about word of mouth and like who's used what and how well it was, and that's how I roll anyways.
All right. Anything else?
I mean, how long you said 8 years you've been doing podcast?
February 17th ish will be 8 years. I forgot the exact.
What made you decide not to do things live? Like why do you do it this way versus a live broadcast?
Well, I have the capabilities to go live. I do.
Right.
I could hit stream right now and we would be live. I typically don't. for a few reasons. Mainly because like I already have two. Like this isn't going live. This isn't going to be published until February 1st, even though we're recording it on January 10th.
Right.
So live content has its place, but I think live content serves best when you already have an audience, right? Like if you have a YouTube channel that has 5,000 subscribers, it's gonna be worth going live. But if you're like mine, who has 85,
yeah, I could definitely see that.
Who am I going live to? Why waste the resources? And plus, no offense, I don't know you, right? Like you're a complete stranger. If it sucks, I'd rather have the option to make it not suck than just put it out live.
Well, that's something that that was huge for me because like hell, like you think of a podcast and you're like live, and that I like this whole step that the way you're doing things because I never would have thought about that. I just would have hit broadcast.
Like if you wanted me to go live, because also going live takes a lot of power from your computer and a very, very strong internet connection. So you got to make sure your machine can handle going live in the first place.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm gonna lack. We got fiber optic cable, or internet, So
if you got that gig speed, you can use a program, a website called Restream, which you can use a program like OBS, which is pretty much a cheaper version, a free version of the program I'm using. You can take that stream, go take it to Restream, and based on your internet, Restream will rebroadcast out to Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever.
Right.
Or if you don't want to do any of that, like if you don't want to do this live switching and like all this fun stuff that I do, I could hop in your Zoom call and I could live switch and live produce it for you. That is something I do. I'm not gonna lie though, it's very expensive because it takes up all my time.
All right, yeah.
Like that's a premium thing that I do offer, but only to people who are like businesses. I would offer that more to a business as opposed to you who are an individual. But if you want me to do it, I could do it.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely we'll talk on all that. Yeah, no. Have you ever seen Mike Iaconelli's podcast?
No.
Oh, check it out. He's a professional fisherman. He's from Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Huge fan of his, and him and Brian the Carpenter. Definitely, I don't know how much of a fisherman you are, but you don't have to.
I fished as a kid off the jockey in Cape Cod with my dad and my brother, so I know how to fish.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, and they talk about a lot of like craft beer and
it's a man's fishing outdoor podcast, of course.
Yeah, just being a man.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah. No, they talk baseball. They talk all kinds of stuff. Yeah, but yeah, no, I've enjoyed it. Hell, I was thrilled. I was at the car lot actually with my mom, and I was like, oh shoot, it's 5 o'clock. It's about 5 o'clock. I gotta go. Go. She wasn't taking me very serious, but like, no, I'm on a podcast.
Right.
Like, I'm not messing this up.
I mean, it's fun, right? As long as you have fun with it. Like, especially if it's someone like you who wants to talk to about a bunch of different things. This brand new thing I started this year, I'm sure everyone's seen my LinkedIn post, my post in general, is podcast playlists. So, like, for example, your podcast, let me actually pull up my playlist so I don't forget how many I have. This particular podcast will go on the Full Shows feed, which is an RSS feed that goes on YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, iTunes, all of them, which is just my full episodes, a full 1 hour plus interviews. It's also going to go on the Entrepreneur feed, which is the full show and all the clips I'm going to cut. This particular clip is going to go on the podcast feed because it's a certain amount of clips. It's going to go on the All, which is just everything I produce all in one place. It's also going to go, part of it's going to go on the Money feed. We talked about crypto and cryptocurrency.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to go on the Clips feed because all the clips I cut, they all go there. It's also going to go on a sports feed because we talked a little bit about baseball. So this podcast is going to go on 7 different podcast feeds that rebroadcast to all the podcast platforms.
Oh, yeah, and it's going to be out the waters, blown out.
Yeah, like not only is it going to be everywhere, it's going to be everywhere 7 times.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
For someone like you, I'd be like, listen, after 6 months, whoever you use for distribute, like if you need me to distribute your podcast too, I do handle distribution. Our app is in develop. Actually, our app is pretty much finished. We're in a stage where we're looking for investors. So what's going to happen is I take that one audio file, like the full show, and I'll be able to upload it to 3 of the feeds at the same time. which is
let's talk more about that after the show.
Yeah. Whereas
definitely talk about that.
Any other platform, you can't do that. I don't know I don't know any other platform where you can do that. But in my app, in its most basic form of just a line of code, we can do that. So
interesting. Yeah, no, I'm sitting here, my mind's twirling.
Yeah, and you think of like the Google Analytics, the Google data, like the Google search. Like if you go into Spotify right now and type in "Talking with Tarashuk," you're gonna see my LinkedIn banner. I put my LinkedIn banner as my search results for Spotify for a reason.
Yeah,
because that's what comes up.
Yeah, and it comes up.
It's the top 10 results are mine, which
that's
good. That's good for SEO, right? That's good for marketing.
That's awesome. I mean, your podcast will take off. You're a great person to talk to.
I hope so, dude. I've been doing this shit for so long.
Well, I can tell you that you said you know what you're talking about. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that you won't be very successul with this podcast, and I hope I am. I hope I'm where you're at.
Well, you're very easy to talk to. I will say, I was a little concerned about myself because I got so busy. I didn't necessarily do as much research as I wanted to on you.
Yeah.
But I was like, I trust myself. I'll be fine. And I was right. I trust myself, and this podcast was totally fine. You're very down to earth, easy to talk to. You're knowledgeable about a lot of things. We're not experts in anything. Like we talk about crypto, but we didn't give any financial advice because we're not financial advisors.
That's right.
But that's fine. At the end of the day, a podcast can be two dudes talking shit, and that's what this was.